Yaroslavl's airport is under tight security. Some of Russia's top politicians are attending an economic forum in town. But it's not politicians who are preparing to board the plane. It is another prestigious group of passengers, the Yaroslavl Lokomotiv hockey team, one of the most beloved sports teams in all of Russia.
Their fans were fantastic. They were loud in support of their team, and they let you know when you were the opposing team.
Mike Fountain is a former National Hockey League goalie who has played against Lokomotiv in Russia.
It created quite the atmosphere. Whenever you went to that city, it's a hockey town. They loved it.
Hockey is a religion in Russia. People love hockey. People love hockey players. They're celebrities. They're stars.
Alexander Galimov is a right winger who has played for Lokomotiv his entire career. Born in Yaroslavl, he's a local hero.
Hey, coach. This guy's like me on the forecheck.
Canadian Brad McCrimmon was an all-star NHL defenseman and assistant coach. Now at age 52, he's looking forward to his first regular season game as a head coach in Russia.
For a coach like Brad McCrimmon, with his record, being an assistant coach with the Red Wings and his playing career, for him to go over to a team like Yaroslavl with the passion those fans have, I guarantee you he was so excited to have that opportunity to go and win that first game.
Some of Russia's best players are on this team, including team captain Ivan Kachenko.
I had the opportunity to play against Ivan Tachenko for many years. He's a fantastic hockey player, and he was one of those guys that was always in front of you in the game, always getting an opportunity to score.
In the preseason, Lokomotiv has been on a hot streak, winning 7 of 9 preseason games. Fans believe this year they have a very good shot at winning the Gagarin Cup.
They want you to win the championship. That cup, it's a big deal.
Hungry? This year, we win it all.
Really?
Yeah.
As a VP with the airline, First Officer Zhyvyelov has managed to pull rank in order to fly with some of his heroes. For this flight, Captain Solomentsev will take the controls, while Zhyvyelov handles the radio calls.
The call sign Tunoshna Yaroslavl. Yaroslavl 42434.
Request engine start. 42434, cleared to start.
The crew starts the Yak's 3 engines.
Start number 3.
And adjusts the plane's stabilizer for takeoff.
How much for you? 9?
Maybe 8, I think.
8.5.
Flaps and slats in position.
The flight is bound for Minsk, 2 hours away in Belarus. For the players, it's the first of many flights they will have to make this season.
The hockey players are the same over in Russia as North America. We've got the jokesters on the team. You've got the guys that will maybe sit in the corner, be a little more quiet. You've got the guys that maybe went out a little too much the night before and has a story for you. And it's kind of funny how that is an international thing.
Checking the flight controls. Start complete. Thrust set.
On September the 7th, 2011, just before 4 in the afternoon, the plane starts down the runway.
Crew are taking off. V1 is 190.
The flight engineer watches the gauges. It's his job to advise the captain when the plane reaches takeoff speed.
The engine power should determine just how fast you get, and if it's done properly and the flaps and slats are set right, you will have the right lift generated by the speed to get you off the ground safely, as almost always happens.
Rotate.
The flight engineer called rotate, and the captain displaced the yoke to rotate the elevators up to about 10 degrees. This would have been sufficient for creating that takeoff attitude and the airplane lifting off.
But the plane stays on the ground.
Nothing happened. The airplane did not react in any way to the displacement of the yoke.
210.
Full power.
The captain calls for full power. And again, nothing happens to the aircraft.
Some of the passengers sense trouble.
Planes in Russia are not up to European and North American standards, and it's a little bit scary for North American and European players going over there.
The runway is 3,000 meters long. The crew must lift off before the 2,600-meter mark, or they won't be able to stop safely.
You probably set stabilizer too low. Add some.
Adjusting the stabilizer doesn't help.
What's happening?
You'll be fine.
The plane has enough speed and should get airborne.
220.
But instead of lifting off, the Yak-42 keeps going. Past the end of the runway.
Going off the runway at the end of a takeoff roll is always dangerous. Full tank of gas, people are still confused. You don't know how far the clear spacing goes.
This is a nightmare for every pilot because now the airplane is not flying, and yet you're moving across the ground at 142 miles an hour.
What are you doing?
The crew struggles desperately to get the plane off the ground. Finally, they succeed. The plane is airborne, but not out of trouble. YAK-Service Flight 9633 isn't able to climb. The pilots have lost control. The Yak-42 crashes into the Volga River, less than a kilometer from the end of the runway. Local police patrolling the river are the first to reach the wreck. Star player Alexander Galimov has survived the crash.
No, it's okay. Help the others.
Mechanic Alexander Sizov is also alive.
Over here! Help! Please!
Rescuers are shocked to learn the plane was carrying some of Russia's most famous athletes.
Thank you. I'm Galimov.
Twisted wreckage burns near the river's edge.